Hello, and welcome everybody to the next part of this world building series for Dathmora. I decided that with my wife and our two friends, I wanted to try out this little campaign setting. And I had some fun with it. We didn't get that far. So don't worry about that. We didn't get that far, but it gave me some ideas for certain things. At least for like the starting area. And honestly, I think I want to do something like that. So I want to take a little inspiration from Daggerheart. If you don't know what Daggerheart is the new tabletop RPG like game, I guess. Like new source, new like I can't think of the word. But it's a new game. It's Critical Role and Darrington Press came out with this, and I absolutely love it. It is a lot more of a narrative driven like game rather than Dungeons and Dragons. Like Dungeons and Dragons, it can be narrative and it can be storytelling and whatnot. I feel like Daggerheart takes a little bit more incorporation from everybody rather than just the DM. And it just, a lot of things are a lot more simplified, and a lot of things have been, in my opinion, fixed in Daggerheart that have been broken in Dungeons and Dragons, if that makes sense. Anyways, sorry, I'm going on a tangent. I've been really enjoying Daggerheart, have been really getting into it. I'm currently reading the entire book, and I'm like almost halfway through it. So I'm absolutely loving it, if you couldn't tell. But I started this whole little campaign setting in a Daggerheart, using Daggerheart. And taking a little inspiration from Daggerheart, I want this map to be like, this is the map, but I'm gonna only give you the starting location, if that's where you want the starting location to be. This is just a suggested starting location with a few minor details. And then after that, it is up to you, the GM, and the players to then place, a couple locations just like out here in the world. Like maybe there is a temple here in these more plains area. Maybe there's a catacombs that is built into the side of this canyon that runs through here, or even maybe the capital city of Dathmora was right here in the center of this this Ashen Field of the Ashen Fields, and it was now destroyed as the calamity of the Fire Elemental Gate was opened, or Falamir's Gate. That could be kind of cool. But like, I want to leave that up to you guys. So I'm thinking this episode is going to be the last for Dathmora. Now, if you guys want me to come back to Dathmora and add more detail to it or something, let me know. But for now, I'm kind of just leaving it as like a basis of this, where it's like, we're gonna do more details down here. I'm gonna kind of give more details about the city down here. We're gonna come up with some stuff, and maybe I want to do some like tribes and whatnot, nomadic tribes that go around the southern portion here. But I want to leave the rest of the map for you, the GM, and the players to pick, I want a location here, I want a location here, and I want a location here. And the GM can then take that creative freedom to then expand on those ideas and bring more to the table, if that makes sense. And I hope that's okay with you guys. It probably sounds like I'm being lazy, which, don't get me wrong, I am kind of being a little lazy, but at the same time, I am also using these maps for myself too. Like I said, I am currently playing this map as a introductory campaign to Daggerheart for my friends and my wife. Because I mean, like I said, I've read almost half of the book for Daggerheart, so I know a lot of the core mechanics and everything. But I was like, you know what? They're interested in playing Daggerheart, so I'm like, you know what? Let's take a map I've already made and let's let them play. So that's the direction I'm going with it. But take this how you will and expand on it how you will. And if I did want to mention, I do have a Patreon now. So if you want to go click the link below and you want to download this map and all the other informative pieces, like the deities, which, first off, I will put this on a Google Doc and on like a Word sheet or whatever, and it will be a lot more simplified, and it'll be legible. You will be able to read it. I promise. It's not gonna be my handwriting. I don't think my handwriting is good. Maybe you think my handwriting is great. I don't know, but I'll make it look nicer. And I will put all of these on the Patreon, and you can become a member. So go check it out. See if you want to become a member. If you become a member, then you will get access to all of the TTRPG maps that I will be creating. And you know what? I might experiment in the future. We might go more like space themed, in the future, or maybe I don't know, we'll do more with certain things, and there might be certain maps where I will expand even more on it. So like this one, we're gonna stop after this southern location here. We're gonna stop at this location, and then this is gonna be the last episode. But there might be another map that maybe later on where I'm like, you know what, I want to fully flesh out a town here, 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 and then I want there to be a temple up here, I want there to be a dungeon here, a catacomb here. Like, I will probably later on do full maps like that, but just to kind of start off, I want to let you guys have that creative freedom with these as well, and then that way we can kind of move on to the next map and whatnot. And there might just be episodes where I just make maps. There might just be episodes where I just make creatures and monsters or heroes or character ideas. So we'll see. Anyways, let's get past all of that. Like I said, go check out the Patreon. You'll get all this. But let's get on to the next little bit. I'm gonna do new. Standing. Yeah, actually, we can fit the rest of this on here. We could do that. I'm not too worried. Okay, so where is my cursor? All right, so with the map that we have here, like I said, I want the starting location to be right where this little star is. And the name of the location is going to be, let's see. Nope, I'm writing the wrong thing. We are going for Frostmound. I think that was a cool name, something I came up with during our little campaign session with my friends. So this city is named Frostmound. Frostmound is I would say, not like a metropolis, but like a decent-sized medieval city. So I would, what would be, I'm gonna look this up too while we're doing this. Let's see. Population sizes. I like to get detailed with like certain things. So for instance, a small city would be 5,000 to 12,000. Let's go. Ooh. Or wait. Yeah, let's go. This Frostmound, this city, has a population of about 5,000 people. But I will say that number is going up because of the situations going on in the world currently, in Dathmora. So with the apocalypse basically struck upon the entire world, we now have people moving into Frostmound from all across Dathmora. And since I am doing this in a Daggerheart sense, I am going to use Daggerheart terminology for certain ancestries. But in my campaign setting, I have that Frostmound, and we're gonna put this down as what Frostmound is and what the kind of people are there, and what it has in store, and then we're gonna go on to kind of what it has turned into after recent events with Falamir's army, the King of Ash, and all that. So normally, typically, in Frostbound, you're going to see a lot more giants, giant folk, and I would say giants, humans, and fawns. And now fawns, you could those are satyrs. So in any other games or fantasy types or whatever, they're basically satyrs. They're goat people, and they can look differently depending on where they're from and whatnot. We got giants, humans, and fawn. So these three ancestries are more of the typical ancestries that are in Frostmount, or at least around Frostmount in this kind of region. And I would say the buildings, as kind of like a design detail, maybe the buildings, this entire area is like an ice sheet. There are patches of stone and rock that come out of the ice, and I feel like that's like this little area here. This little area is on, like, this whole island down here is on a it is on land and a stony rock surface, and the little coast here is all rocks and stones leading up to where the city is, but there is just a lot of ice and a lot of snow, not much like foliage, grass, or anything like that. Now typically in this region you're probably going to see a lot of typical animals that you would see like in Antarctica or something, like South and North Pole. Like, you're going to probably see a lot of like polar bears and seals and penguins, or in this case, other mythical creatures that might live in said areas. You might even see an ice or an ice dragon, a white dragon, roaming the ice sheet in different areas. Maybe not too close to the city, but definitely in that area. But these buildings are probably, since there's not a lot of wood or anything like that, these buildings are probably created or made from a lot of I'm gonna say maybe like a whiter stone. Probably not marble. Maybe even like a limestone or something like that. That's just where that's the kind of stone this area has. So even though so it's not like this black rocky stone on the shores, maybe it's like almost like a this white stone, this white cracked rough stone on the edges. So it almost seems like ice, but as soon as you touch it, it's cold, but it's not melting or anything in your hand. It is literally a rock, and then right above that you'll oh wait, there's snow. So it gets confusing sometimes. So that maybe that's a hardship of the people of Frostmount, is sometimes discerning what's ice and what's stone, because all the stone underneath this island is just white. So white stone, architecture, and that is wow. How do you spell architecture? Am I really having this much trouble? Architecture? Was I? Oh, okay. No, I was spelling it right. I was spelling it right. Okay. White stone architecture. And I think these people pride themselves on maybe hunting. I'd say a lot of hunting. And to kind of balance, so thinking of it this way, this area is just, there is no, like, there's probably not a lot of animals. Like, yeah, you might get, like, maybe the occasional herd of caribou or deer or whatever. But, like, it's mainly going to be, like, polar bears. And even then, not a lot of polar bears or even penguins. But even then, like, you really going to go out and kill a lot of penguins? That's kind of messed up, dude. Like, why would you do that? But, like, thinking of different creatures and stuff that probably roam in this area, and you don't have to use anything like that's, you know, this is where like that homebrew, the storytelling aspect comes in. Maybe in this area, maybe there are these, oh, you know what? Maybe in this area, and we can probably come up with a name for it later, or if you guys want to come up with a name for it later, maybe this region, this like South Pole, maybe there's these very large, almost mammoth-like beasts, and maybe they're like as large as mammoths, but they are like buffalo, like they look like buffalo, very large, curved, like horns. Maybe they look like antlers instead, but they're more like down, like facing downwards, like straight in front of them, kind of, replace a bull, like a bull's horns, and just replace those with antlers. Same orientation and everything, facing forward rather than up, and maybe it's like that. But they roam in herds, but they are thick, so they have a lot of fur on them, but they are very meaty as well. So maybe that's where Frostmound gets a lot of their food, and maybe they even have like quote unquote ranches around the outskirts of Frostmound that have just like herds of these large roaming beasts, because that is one thing that that does kind of make your worlds just a little bit more lively, is like explain why. You don't have to go like too like crazy detailed about it, but like explain why or how like they get their food or they get their materials. So for instance, like a lot of Frostmound is made from this white stone. Okay, where did they get this white stone? Okay, well maybe this I'm gonna just erase this. There we go. And I'm just gonna call it the South Pole for right now. South Pole, you know, maybe it's, you know, the landmass is made up, hold on, there we go, made up of a white, easy to work with stone. There we go. So yeah, the landmass is made up of a white, easy to work with stone. So that explains, like, because let's say, you know, you have this, you know, city on top of a beautiful mountain, and the city is built out of this like pure white stone, but then the mountain is like a black mountain, and I mean like a black, like it is very dark. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, it looks really cool, but like, how do you explain how they got the stone? Now, you don't have to say that, oh, the mountain has to be a white stone too. You don't have to do that. What you can do is maybe be like, oh, maybe the outside layer of the mountain is black, but the inside is white. Like maybe the outside layer, due to like oxidizing, or maybe it was burned because like a black dragon or something like that. And so the outside crust of the mountain is black, but the inside is white. So they have this mine that they have been just carving out the inside of this mountain to create this, like almost like a geode. Like it creates like a geode almost. That's actually a cool idea for a city, not gonna lie. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's a cool idea. I'm gonna keep that in mind. But you could put that in Dathmora. But like explain, or maybe instead of it being like, oh, the inside of the mountain is a white stone, maybe explain like, oh, they sourced this white stone from a different region that has that white stone abundant. Or maybe there is a patch of this white stone that is nearby where they created a mine and able to source it from there. Because that's not just like a, nitty gritty, like, oh, it's to like make it more lively. It's more like the players now have a sense of like, ooh, well, now I kind of want to go see this white stone quarry, or I want to see like, where does this white stone come from? Because maybe that person just really likes rocks, you never know. Like maybe that's like that player is really into rocks, and like, I kind of want to go see where this is at. It gives another location for players to explore. And maybe you could even say like, oh, our shipment, maybe somebody in the town's like, oh, our shipment of white stone hasn't come in a few weeks. There might be something going wrong at that mine. Well, there you go. Now you have a location. Now you have a little quest, a little story kind of brewing up. And so now the players can immediately go to that mine, figure out what's happening, and maybe fix what's going on. So creating those explanations creates a cool effect. So also, for instance, with these having, we explained where the white stone came from. We got these large. That is not. I need an E. Thank you. Large buffalo-like creatures with antlers. So maybe these large buffalo-like creatures with antlers, like these creatures, this is how this city gets food, right? So this is how this city gets food, leather, furs to keep warm. But now that's also, let's say your players are sent out to go investigate where maybe one of the ranchers or whatever, or one of the caretakers of a herd of these creatures is like, hey, my herd went missing. Oh, cool. Well, now the players can go out, explore the ice sheet to find this herd of these large, lumbering, white-furred buffalo creatures and massive antlers, and gives them a deal of like, oh, now we have to go like, not tame them, but corral them, like get them to calm down and try and bring them back to Frostmound, because otherwise people would starve or even freeze to death without those furs and leathers and stuff like that, and whatnot. Now you might also be asking, like, they've got to have wood somehow, right? Maybe, little idea that I just had, maybe there is, you could explain this in different ways. Like, they've got to have some sort of wood to like keep them warm, like making charcoal and stuff like that. So maybe instead of like, maybe they have like, you could explain it, maybe there's a wizard there that has created a grove or something in the center of the city where they harvest wood and stuff from. Like, that could be something that's kind of cool. The idea that I was having is maybe while they were mining for this white stone, they ended up breaking into a cavern. And if you ever played Minecraft, maybe this underground cavern is like the lush biome in Minecraft. So it's like there are these beautiful vines that that grow from the ceiling, that have these like glowing berries, but maybe they don't have to necessarily be like berries, but maybe they're like these giant glowing orbs that radiate just enough heat and just enough light, and there's just enough of them to where it's able to create moisture down here and humidity, and there are these trees down here. So maybe while they were like, maybe there was an expedition and they ended up like, taking samples of the stone, or maybe they were looking for something, or maybe they found these buffalo creatures and they're like, ooh, what are these things? But they ended up finding a cavern, like a little cave entrance. They explored into it and they realized, wow, it's a lot warmer down here than I expected. And they ended up finding a large cavern that just has these like, viney trees with like very curved roots and curved branches, and like these, again, these vines growing from the ceiling that have these large bulbs, these glowing heat radiating bulbs that help create just an ecosystem down here. And maybe there are other creatures down here. Maybe there are, normal squirrels or something like that. Like you could just maybe it's a swarm of squirrels that live down here. Something silly like that. But I think that's kind of what I do with this. So like there is a cavern. Here, a cavern that has the perfect ecosystem to sustain a underground forest. Yeah, and then we'll say long vines grow from the ceiling that have large glowing bulbs that radiate heat. There we go. Cool. So kind of a little basis. So now, and then there's, you could explain that there is a, bunch of trees down there, and that's where they collect their wood and whatnot. And maybe down there, like, you could even say, like, maybe the rich, people of this city of Frostmound, that's where they live, is down there, where it's more nice and warmer or something like that. Or maybe you could say maybe it is only used by druids, because remember how we were talking about before in the previous episode, the Inira, goddess of balance, she not only uses clerics, or I guess in this case like seraphs, but like, because Daggerheart, they use seraphs instead of clerics. But anyways, instead of just using clerics or seraphs, they use druids as well as their priests and their I don't know what to call it, their shamans or whatever, their figures. So maybe this little underground grove immediately became this like focus point for these druids. And you could even say maybe even this city like is a not necessarily a religious city, but has a very strong connection to Inira, because of this grove, this cavernous grove that is down there. These druids have turned it into this almost sanctuary, and it has that natural cycle, but also showing that like beautiful things can grow from cold places, cold, dark places as well. So that's kind of cool. So now we kind of have like a little bit of a basis of what's going on here. I was also thinking as well, something that I also came up with because one of my friends, their character is a nomad. So I was thinking, what if so there's two different tribes that we could go for, which I have a piece of paper here that has those two tribes on it. What if the Fern clan and the Twig clan? So maybe in this area, the South Pole, there are two nomadic clans that roam the ice sheets. And maybe these people were here first, and maybe they knew about the grove, and maybe there's other areas, like maybe underneath this entire area. Let me see. Maybe underneath like this entire landmass is just caverns upon caverns of just this forest. Which that could be cool. That could be another location like to let your players go down and explore. And maybe this is where Falamir is trying to get to. Maybe he's trying to get here because there is an artifact here that is allowing this entire area to grow underneath ice and stone. And you could even say too, you know what? Maybe instead of the large bulbs, oh, that's, you know what? That is a cool idea. Maybe instead of large bulbs, maybe it's the white flowers. Maybe it's the white flowers of Anira. So this entire underground cavern is covered in these glowing, pure white flowers with golden tips. And because like I said, they do radiate just a little bit of heat. They're not like burning to the touch, but they're like a nice, comfortable warm. They also give off light. So these would be perfect as an explanation to like how things are able to grow down here. But maybe this is where like Anira became a god or became a goddess. Like maybe this is where she, or maybe this is where she first touched the land of Dathmora, is in this location. And this is why it is so just vibrant with her flowers and her symbol. And then again, maybe there is a temple. You could even say maybe there's a temple that's deep down into this this cavern or this giant grove, and that temple is for Anira, but nobody's found it yet. Nobody has found it yet, but they do know that there is a temple down there. So that's another exploratory thing for your players to go find. And again, maybe that's where Falamir's trying to go. He wants to take whatever that relic is and either destroy it or use it, depending on how you want to play around with it. But I think we have a really, really good idea of this campaign setting, and I think this also allows you guys to explore even more with it. So go check it out. Go check it out on Patreon. Go check out my Patreon, and become a member, and then you can download these for yourself, and use them in your own campaign setting. And you know what? Maybe you're like, you know what? I don't really like the deities or the Fire King or the King of Ash or Falamir. Like, I don't really like that stuff, but I do like the map. Then just take the map. That's totally fine too. Again, this is for you guys to explore with, maybe start a campaign. Maybe you've never played D&D before, so this is kind of like an easy, like, okay, I'm gonna use this to kind of start my first campaign, and then maybe next time you're like, okay, I think I'm comfortable making my own map or whatever. So go check out my Patreon. That Patreon is also for my main YouTube channel, which is all of my video gaming stuff, where I play a lot of Valheim currently. So go check that out if you want to. But I'm gonna leave this here, and this is kind of the finale for this this first world that we have built. So yay, congratulations to me and everybody else. But I'm gonna leave it here. I love all of you guys. I hope you guys really enjoyed this. If you did, leave a like down below. Just hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to go check out my Discord, the Big Bean server Discord. And then also don't forget to go check out the Patreon. Patreon is also helping me keep food on the table and shelter and clothes and stuff for my wife and my daughter and my soon-to-be second kid. So go go do all that stuff. And I will see you guys, well, in the next world. Bye bye.